Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, continuing our focus on developments as they are playing themselves out in Adamawa State. Well, now we're joined by Ahmed Sajoh, who is the Director of Press and Public Affairs, Government House, Yola. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, we just had Dr. Ado reading out a litany of issues there, but what's the latest development now about this impeachment move from the House?
Latest development. I don't know. I think will it not be better we take it from the whole story in a very very brief manner. I want to tell you that in some just few months back, this same House of Assembly passed a resolution passing a vote of confidence in the governor, and the 25 of them came to the Government House and delivered the resolution. And so
they were allowed to come in and deliver
they came in and delivered the resolution, and everybody thought things were normal. But then all of a sudden something happened some 2 weeks back. The former Prime Minister of Britain, Gordon Brown, came to Nigeria as a UN ambassador on Safe School Initiative. And he was supposed to have a meeting with the President and the governors of the 3 states under state of emergency. Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. And all of a sudden, we saw the news that they had a meeting with Borno and Yobe, but somebody felt the Adamawa State governor should not go. And so the Adamawa State governor was not there. Later in the evening, when the Minister of Finance, Yola, was addressing the press, she said, well, the governor of Adamawa State will join them the next day. And that next day, the governor prepared to go and join them, and got to the airport, and they said the Air Force had closed down the airport, that there was no way he could fly out. And so he had to travel by road to Gombe and take a flight to Abuja. It was while this was playing out that we learned that the House had sat down and passed a resolution for the impeachment of both the governor and the deputy governor.
When the minister said that the governor was going to join them the next day, was the governor notified?
He was notified. He was notified. So he had to go by road. Okay. So we began to see certain things actually definitely wrong. Why would they close down the airport and deny the governor? And immediately they learned he had already landed in Abuja. They opened the airport. Well, okay. So they passed a resolution and said they were impeaching the governor and the deputy governor at the same time. And so after that,
did you see the allegations they raised?
I have.
What do you think about that?
Some of them are not only ridiculous, but they are frivolous. I mean, you say the governor had eaten money meant for flood in 2011. The flood occurred in 2012. You said you are accusing the governor of appointing his wife, the chairman of SACA. That woman is a medical doctor, a consultant, and she's well qualified. The wife of the president is a permanent secretary in Bayelsa. Nobody has said he will impeach the president for his wife taking up a job in Bayelsa State. And this woman, is qualified to hold that office. Nobody says because somebody is a wife of the governor, she should not do a job. His other wife, Murtala Nyako, is a justice of the Court of Appeal. Nobody is saying he should be impeached because his wife is a justice of the Court of Appeal. So we're saying some of these things are ridiculous. The deputy governor is being accused of not advising the governor. What criteria are you going to use to determine whether somebody has been advised or not?
So if this were the case,
that's one.
Why will they be prevented? Why are they evading?
They have not been. Nobody has evaded the service. They had to go to. They had to go. He went. I told you why he went to Abuja. Wait. Nobody has locked anywhere. He went to Abuja on an official assignment. I have a document here. The Speaker of the House, in his name, went to court to demand for a substitute service. The judge said, quoting a Supreme Court judgment in the case of Inakoju versus Adeleke, delivered by Justice Nikki Toby, that there is no substituted service. Immediately the judgment was delivered. The House went on the basis of the affidavit the clerk swore in to file the case in court. On the basis of just that affidavit, the House, 9 members of the House sat down and said, well, they could overrule the court. But in that same judgment of Inakoju versus Adeleke, which was delivered by Justice Nikki Toby, the Supreme Court of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the only, the judiciary is the only one responsible for interpreting the Constitution, had interpreted that nothing in section 188 subsection 10 confers the powers on the House that makes the House over and above the courts. So these are issues that are, legal. And I tell you, another one happened.
But this
immediately they did that. Wait, immediately they did that. Then the AFCC froze the account of the state. Why? Section 34 of the AFCC Act, if you have it, open it, says they cannot freeze anybody's account, government or individual, without first obtaining a court order. They did it without obtaining a court order.
Have you challenged this in court?
We have. And the case is subsisting now.
What has been the response?
No, you do.
But in the meantime, I mean, we understand that the EFCC has said, bring, the salary schedule and let us get the civil servants paid.
Are you saying, Maupe, that we, as a government, should support an illegality? The EFCC, I told you, had illegally frozen the accounts.
Are you then saying that civil servants should go without their salaries? Is that what you're saying?
They are lying. They have not... First and foremost, it's not the responsibility of the FCC to pay salaries in any state. Anybody who is supporting that is supporting not just impunity but illegality. And secondly, the FCC cannot sit down in Abuja and order the commissioner in Adamawa to come and answer any question to them. It's not done that way. There is a chief executive in the state. There is the court of law. Let them go to the court, obtain a court order, freezing this account. In that case, they will state their reasons.
Where is the governor now?
When they state their reasons,
where is the governor now?
Right now,
yes.
I guess by now he should be in Yola.
What about the deputy governor?
He said he's been in Yola.
So if they're in Yola, why are they evading service?
They have not evaded service. Read the Constitution very well. Section 188, subsection 2, says the service should be done within 7 days. The 7 days have lapsed.
The service should be done within 7 days?
Within 7 days. And it has lapsed. So read the Constitution very well.
So why would
the Constitution is very clear.
No, but because you are saying that some of these allegations are laughable, some of them are not tenable, and from all the comments that they've been making,
that what?
From what the members of the House have said, they say they've gone to government house to serve them. The place.
I can tell you, there was not look. I was present in the House the day the clerk. It's not the members of the House. Let us understand these things within its legal context. That this country has gone berserk without following law and order does not mean that we should premise all our arguments outside the law. Let's go within the law. Wait, I'm telling you, in the law, it is the clerk that will do the service. I was in the government house on the day the clerk went to deliver the service at 4:05, between 4:05 and 4:06. And at that time, the place has been closed. The office closes by 4. So how would he have come there after 4 and expect to deliver? And in any case, like I told you, in the case of Inakoju versus Adeleke, service is to the person, not to the institution. So that day, the governor was meeting with Gordon Brown in Abuja, and they went to Yola to serve him. How would they have served him?
So you're saying, we also know, I mean, let us face it, we have lived in this country, we have seen instances where, attempts have been made to frustrate service. Because you can always say, I never saw it, and when you never see something, it means that the process can never begin. So we've seen attempts. Are you saying very categorically that this is no attempt to actually, there's been no attempt to evade service? Very categorically. Regardless of how laughable, according to you, the charges are.
I am saying categorically that if the governor has to be in Abuja to meet with the ambassador of the UN on Safe School Initiative, he wouldn't have stayed back in Yola and waited for a service to be issued to him. I'm just saying.
Did he meet with him for 7 days?
Of course, he has other responsibilities, and he carried them out. And he's the governor.
So he stayed 7 days in Abuja carrying out other responsibilities?
He had stayed in Abuja for as long as...
Let's look at some of the allegations that were leveled against him.
Yeah.
The legislatures say that the governor diverted 50 million released to him by the Ministry of Finance to acquire license for the exploration of solid minerals in 2008. They also allege that he diverted 2.3 billion naira workers' salary for September and October 2011, illegal deductions and diversion of 142 million naira emolument of workers in May 2014. They claimed that the deputy governor was involved in extra budgetary expenditure to the tune of 397 million as overhead cost in 2013. Are all this fabricated?
No, it's not like fabricated. But the governor did not divert, for example, 142 million.
What did he do with it?
What happened was that there was a shortfall in the allocation to the state. And based on the shortfall, salaries were paid minus certain allowances. And immediately that happened, the government constituted a committee, of which I was a member, and we met with representatives of labor and explained to them that rather than go without salaries, we feel that this shortfall could be, kept. I mean, you could be paid your salary minus a certain allowance. When the situation improves in June, you would be paid the allowances that have been deducted. You cannot pay what you don't have. It was a shortfall in the allocation to the state. And it's not only Adamawa State. There are states that have not even paid salaries as a result of the shortfall.
So you say that there is absolutely no IGR from which you can actually draw to argument what it is you need to pay.
When you talk of revenue accruing to the state, it's revenue accruing to the state. We're not talking about just the allocation. There was a shortfall in the revenue accruing to the state. Don't forget, this is a state that is heavily challenged by security issues.
Did the governor make also that deduction from his own and personal aids allowances?
Everybody. It's across the board.